So we had a by-election here in Canada last night, December 12th, 2022 by-election. And this is the official Elections Canada website. And it was in the riding of Mississauga Lakeshore. And if you can believe it, there were 40 candidates. 40, not 4, 40. 34 of which were independent candidates. And how many people got 100 votes or more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many got 84 votes or more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, see that? Somebody got 2 votes. You suck, DuPont. Got 2 votes there. Somebody got 3. Somebody got 1 vote. Alain Lamontagne. You got 1 vote, buddy. My goodness. Pascal Saint-Amand got 2. Julie Saint-Amand actually got a whopping 11. Ben Teekman. Is he related to that tennis player, Teekman? Anyway, let's put the camera on me. Why not? Now I don't... Ooh, it's bright. I'm going to turn the light on. It's a little bit dark in here. Got my trusty cane here. Yeah, hi everybody, I am Jennifer McCreath, and my sweater is too small because I put on some weight. And in 2015, I ran as a candidate in the Canadian federal election, and I got 84 votes. Which is a lot more than most of these people got, but you know what? The media's not talking about this. All they care about is who won the seat. Okay, so the Liberal got the most votes out of the voter turnout. Voter turnout was, I believe, 26%. 74% of eligible voters did not vote. And the Liberals got 51% of those who did vote, so 13% of the eligible electorate voted Liberal, and it's those 13% who determined who got to win the election. The Conservative guy finished way back in second place with, well, not way back, 12,000 to 8,800. Bottom line, mainstream media is saying that the margin of victory is a lot more than it was 2 years ago. And they're questioning that maybe Mr. Poilievre's leadership isn't quite reaching its target audience. The other big stories not really covered are the fact that the NDPs and the Greens and the People's Party also got historically low levels of votes. Less than 5% of the vote for these so-called major parties. Shout out to the Rhinos. They got 24 votes. But we've got 34 independent candidates. At least 30, I believe, are part of some sort of informal coalition who are essentially angry that the Liberals have failed to deliver on a promise for electoral reform. So their protest was to try to make this ballot look ridiculous by putting all these extra names on there. As we may all know, and I found out the hard way, you need 100 nomination signatures to get on the ballot. And if you got 35 people that sign each other's nomination forms, maybe you get your wife or husband and neighbors to sign it, no problem. You're on the ballot. None of them got 100 votes. As I didn't, I had more people nominate me than vote. So I had 16 people nominate me and then not vote for me. And that's just the way the system is. Realistically, when you've got 40 candidates running and 26% voter turnout, you could potentially have a situation where somebody could win a first past the post election with 1% of the vote. Yeah. It's an interesting way to raise the issue. Allegedly, they got national media coverage for this. I didn't know about it till I happened to stumble upon a Twitter article. Well, a link on Twitter. I won't say who the journalist was, but because I don't like them. But yeah, it's there. Thank you, I guess, for stepping up to the plate and trying to do something, trying to get some change. I'm fed up with the status quo. Unfortunately, people don't seem to care. Well, you should. Because you 74% that stayed home, you all basically, essentially voted Liberal by proxy. Because you're basically saying, I'm going to pass my vote over to whoever else actually votes and wins. So we don't care who wins. We will support whoever wins. That's essentially what none of the above means. Because you don't actually have to have 50% plus one of eligible votes or voters. You just have to be first past the post out of those who do show up. You could conceivably win an election then with one vote. Let's say only one person in the whole riding shows up to vote. And that one vote could settle this seat. I mean, so I guess I shouldn't knock Alain, who got one vote. Or perhaps, I mean, there's definitely some families in here. There's people with the same last names. Doesn't necessarily guarantee it, but lots of Francais. I don't know if there's a group from a French part of the riding that are specifically angry. I don't think I've ever seen so many French names on a ballot in Mississauga, Ontario, which is just west of Toronto. Great town. I mean, I love Mississauga. Haven't been there for a while, but I ran my first ever marathon at the 2007 Mississauga Marathon, and I loved it so much that I kept going back. This is a side story. I've run 30 marathons, and I did so within a span from 2007 to 2011. And 5 years in a row, even though I lived way out here in St. John's, Newfoundland, see my Newfoundland flag? I traveled to Mississauga every year and ran that marathon. One of only 2 marathons, which I've run 5 times. The Newfoundland Provincial Marathon, of course, being the other. But yeah, why isn't the media talking about this or even mentioning it? I just watched David Cochrane, who, by the way, I don't really care for personally, but I think he's great at his job. Power and Politics on the national feed of CBC. He broke this election down and had panelists, but all they wanted to talk about was Pierre Poilievre. They barely even mentioned the candidates here. I can't even pronounce the name there. Chiziner, the Conservative candidate, Chiziner. They mentioned Charles Sousa and how this guy's run many, many elections. He had brand name recognition. But yeah, not a mention of any of these other people and what they're trying to accomplish. 40 candidates on one ballot. I have an idea. Maybe here in St. John's, Newfoundland, for our next election, we'll go for 41. I'll bet you I can find 41 people willing to put their name on a ballot. There we go. I've got something to shoot for the next election. I don't have to put myself on the ballot. I just need to convince 100 other people to do it. I don't know. Can we wake up and pay attention? It's been a rough 3 years. COVID, pandemic, inflation. People are losing jobs. The healthcare system's falling apart. And there's a lot of people complaining. They're upset. They're angry. They're tweeting more than ever before. They're calling the radio talk shows and bitching and moaning. But come on, folks. The Liberals aren't going to change the election process because it works in their favor. If you want true electoral reform, you got to vote for people who are committed to that change. And I would hazard a guess that any of these 34 independent candidates would be more willing to do that than any of the 6 party affiliates. Except for the Rhinoceros Party. I mean, who knows what they would probably do. I almost joined the Rhinoceros Party. And although I never have, I'm kind of an honorary member just because I'm a friend. And I did an April Fool's joke once, saying I was going to run for them once, and in the end I was April Fooling them because I didn't run for them. Enough of that. Come on, folks. Are you happy? Are you content? I guess that's the question. 74% didn't even bother to vote. Are you really content with poverty, inflation, healthcare system that's a mess, millions of government money, which is actually your taxpayer money, being wasted on corruption? There's another story today about conflict breach. What's that? What do you call it? The recusing. A Liberal cabinet minister gave money to one of their friends rather than recuse themselves from the tendering process. I don't know. Just resign, will you? Get out of the office, please. Oh, I wish I could say I would run again, but I'm just too old and I'm too beat up. And I don't want to become, God love you, John Trammell, a nuisance candidate. The guy's put his name on a ballot 100 times and he's lost them all. I'm 0-1 federally, I'm 0-1 provincially, and I'm 0-2 municipally, which means I will never run again here in St. John's or in the province of Newfoundland. If I do ever run, it'll be for somewhere else. Which means I'm probably going to have to leave this place. How sad it is. But for now, I'm here, so you're all stuck with me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Pay attention. It's not just the people on TV getting screwed. Some of those people in the news might actually be you. Watch the 6 o'clock news. See what your government is doing. Because you might realize that you're getting screwed too. And by the time you're ready to do something about it, it might be too late. Because there might be another election in which change did not happen. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. But yeah, seriously. This is really strange. And I don't know what to say.